Hello, this is Angela Anderson. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to draw 5 different feather shapes. You can use these drawings for any number of different projects, Zentangles, watercolors, colored pencils. I used them for my acrylic painting tutorial called Whimsical Feather Art, so be sure to check that out after this video. I'll also be showing you how to transfer the design onto your canvas. Let's get started. I've got a 12 by 16 inch canvas here, and I've got some tracing paper, and I've just marked out my boundaries on the tracing paper, and I'm going to sketch out my feathers on here with a regular pencil. So I want my feathers to have a couple inch border, so I'm just marking kind of the top and bottom of this center one. I'll have 5 feathers filling up this whole space. So this first one, I'm going to do a diagonal line like this and curve it down. Then the stem is going to come up and curve to about right here. So I'm just going to make a long curved line for the middle stem quill of the feather. Okay, then I'll leave a little bit of space here and make a V. And connect these lines so it narrows as it gets down toward the bottom. This line I'm going to keep it fairly light pressure because I want to make some notches in my feather. So I'm going to say maybe right here I'll make a notch, maybe right here, another one here, and I'll just erase those little bits of the outside line. And then at the end here, I'm just going to make some little squiggly feathers to end off the end of the feather. So that'll be our first big feather there. Then I'll put my 2 side pieces in, and then we'll fit our smaller ones in between. So this one is going to be about the same distance down, and I want to keep it, let's move it in a little bit because I don't want the boundaries to go outside of about right there. I want to leave about the same distance, maybe a little bit smaller. That's probably a little over an inch from the edge. So, and I'll go about the same height as my other feather was. So I think that's about right there. Just marking my boundaries. So the top of this one is going to be completely curved. Actually a little bit more curved than that because it's quite big. Just going to lightly draw in that and then do my outside edge, curve it down. Let me draw the center of it. This time I'm going to start from the up here and move down. Just curve it gently down. So it's angling in just a little bit. It's not completely straight down. And then this other side, I'm going to curve it down as well. This side's a little closer to the middle line. They both are curving down. And then again, about an inch up, I'm going to make a V and just use that to curve up and finish off my feather. So there's my second one. This one I'm not going to make any notches. I'm just going to do a few little squigglies at the bottom. Random feathers. This one in between here, I'm going to make nice and tall and straight. It'll be a little bit shorter, but it'll start about the same distance at the bottom. I'm just going to make my center line right up like that. End it a little bit before that one. Curve at the top. And do a nice large V at the bottom. However large this V is how wide this bottom part will be, so you can decide if you want it very narrow, keep it small. And then I'm just going to draw my line in all the way to the top. Right there. And you can widen out the base if you want. So we've got our first 3 feathers. Those are looking really good. Let's do the one on this side. So I'm going to make my mark right here, so don't go past that boundary. And make another mark up here and down here, just to know where I want to stop and start. So this time I want it to curve out like this, so I'm going to start my curve a little bit smaller on this one. And I'm going to curve my line down, hit that mark. I'm going to stop here so that I can draw in my center line. And it's going to go almost straight down but curve in just a little bit at the end. And then this one is going to curve all the way down and meet up with that. Then on this side I'm going to do kind of a straight angle and go straight up with it and meet it up with the top. Just doing some random different shapes of feathers. Let's make a couple notches in this one and erase those little marks right there. It's looking really good. Okay, then this one, just going to find the center mark there. It's about the same distance. And it's going to end a little bit shorter like that, right about there. So I'm going to curve this line in this space right here and just do my middle line. It's going to curve gently like that. I'll do this bottom part there. And then I'm going to do a V. This time I'm going to bring it almost straight this way. It'll be a flatter V. It's almost like an L shape. And then at the top I'm going to do another V like that. A little bit longer maybe. And then this line will go curve all the way down and meet up with that. And this one will curve in just a little bit and meet up with this one way out here. Just making these random feather shapes. I think I want to make this one just a little bit wider, so I'm just going to erase this part of the line. Bring that out a little wider right there. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to cut off a little bit of that right there. Just soften up that angle. Alright, so once you've got your drawing the way you like it, let me make some notches in this one. And we'll do some little feathery things off the end of that one. Just trying to keep them random. Do the feathery things on some of them and not others. Okay, so once you get them all drawn out the way you like, grab your transfer paper, also called graphite paper. If you don't have transfer paper, you could use chalk and draw on the back here, rub some chalk on here or some pastel, and that would transfer onto the canvas. I'm just going to make sure I use the waxy side. It's the darker side. Hold it firmly with one hand and you lift up. I've covered my canvas with a coat of white. So make sure when you're putting this on that you don't rub the carbon onto your painted surface. Otherwise, it will transfer in places that you don't want it to go. So just be very gentle about it. And try not to shift your drawing. So I'm going to go back over my lines. You can use pencil or you can use a stylus if you have a metal stylus. That's great. Use nice firm pressure and always hold down close to where you're drawing with your opposite hand. That way your tracing won't shift very much while you're doing your transfer. Oops. It moved a little bit on me, so I readjusted it before I did my next section. You can always lift off your tracing and check underneath just to make sure that you haven't gotten outside of your lines. So if you get any transfer marks like I did on my canvas here, you can use some Clorox bleach wipes and just rub it off. It will come right off. Pencil lines will also remove easily with these wipes. Something about it just takes that pencil right off. That graphite comes right off. So just make sure that you remove any lines that you don't want before we start painting. They work like magic. I wish I had known about these years ago, because they make drawing on canvases with pencil so much easier, because you can erase any mistakes without having to use your eraser, which sometimes gums up in the paint. Okay, so once you get all of your lines off of there, you want to use some clean water and just rinse off any of that residue from the wipes. Don't want any bleach water on my canvas, so just going to use some water with a rag to go over my lines. Wipe off any bleach. There we go. Be sure to check out part 2 of this video using the links down in the description and up in the iCards. Thanks for watching today. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again. Bye.